Yes, people, we're here, we're live and direct, and we've got a very special guest joining us. I've been seeing so much work that he's been doing, putting over social media. It's a pleasure to have him on the Big Bad Station with yours truly, DJKat the Katalyst. So without further ado, please do welcome our next guest. So of course, next guest, introduce yourself, let the listeners know who you are.
A blessed good day to all. I greet you all in the wonderful name of Jesus, and I'll never apologize for that. No day, no time. This is Jaron Nurse, the original Jesus Youth, all the way from Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
And I must say blessings to Miss Kat-a-lyst. Thanks for having me.
Anytime, you're always welcome. Of course, Jaron Nurse, we've got to ask you, how did this journey begin? Tell us a little something about your musical journey.
Well, my musical journey started off a bit tough because of how I was growing up. My testimony, I was adopted by my godparents from 14 days old, 2 weeks old, because my dad was hooked on drugs and my mom was mentally ill.
Yeah.
So because of that, I was growing up in a place called Carnage where they were classed there as the hood, as the ghetto.
Yeah.
And growing up there was a bit tough. Some people knowing your story would tell you some of the hurtful stuff. But I thank God that he took my misery and made it my ministry.
Yeah.
So today I use that energy to sing music and touch and transform lives all around the world.
Most definitely. You know what? I want to big you up for talking about it, because that is quite a difficult topic to talk about. Obviously, it's your parents. So thank you for opening up and talking about it still.
Blessings. I share it because I know there might be someone out there going through that same thing. But I want to encourage them that no matter what, good things can still come out of your bad situation.
100%. And I understand as well, before you was Jaron Nurse, you're also known as Frame. So tell us about that story.
Well, growing up in Carnage, where they would class as a rugged community, some would say it's a ghetto area, a nickname is almost compulsory.
Yeah.
So that was my nickname, Frame, because of my size, and quite a small guy.
Okay.
So that's why I was nicknamed with that one, Frame.
Nice. You know what? I'm small as well, so we share that in common. But as they say in Jamaica, little but with talawa, yeah?
Yeah, little but talawa.
Every time. So you know what? Tell us about this journey, because I've seen you go all over on Instagram, getting millions of views, millions of this, millions of that. And I'm thinking, how did this journey begin? I know, you had a rough start, but how did this kind of musical journey happen for you?
I think it started all where, being obedient to God and His purpose. A lot of people would measure purpose by popularity.
Yeah.
By how much views, how much likes and stuff. But I tell people, or they would measure success by popularity rather. But I tell people that I've been successful because I choose to do what God has called me to do.
Yeah.
And that is to spread His message, spread the gospel of Jesus. And I continue to do just that. It was a tough journey because I always wanted to be a footballer.
Okay.
The first visa I got was for football in terms of soccer. But God had a different call for my life, and I answered that call.
Yeah.
It still continued to be a little tough. In some cases, in terms of getting to reach the people you want to reach and how you want to reach them and stuff like that. But I'll continue to do what God has called me to do.
Yeah, for real. And so how did you become a part of, I suppose, Christianity, the works of Jesus? How did that kind of come about?
My adopted parents, but more so I was growing up in church. I tell people I was growing up in church, but church was not in me. I tell people as like a fish. We all as Caribbean people love eating fish, but when you catch a fish, you have to put salt in to season it.
Yeah.
But he spent all his life living in salt water. So that was me. I was growing up in church, but church was not in me.
Yeah.
I did a lot of foolish stuff. I got arrested a few times. Got in a lot of fights. But I thank God that, through that he can still use people like us who made mistakes. He use people that make mistakes.
Yeah. I can hear your little kid there. Blessings to him as well.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Blessings. So with that now, you decided to make this into something. You brought out some great tracks, some great vibes, some great energy. Where did that kind of motivation come from?
Well, I said my adopted dad, one of the first CDs he bought for me. Well, that was cassettes in those days. That would have been Glenn Washington and Barry Salmon.
Yeah.
So because of that, I fell in love with reggae music. I do all sorts of genres because the gospel is not limited to any genre.
Yeah, 100%.
But more so reggae is my favorite.
Okay.
So I listen a lot of reggae.
Yeah.
Back then, and still do.
Yeah.
Time to time. So I would definitely say my dad who brought that CD is who introduced me to reggae music.
Nice, I like that. And I understand as well you play several different instruments, from African drums, steel pan, the guitar. How did that come about?
Well, I always had a love for music, and because of church, there always be need for musicians, and once I see a need, I'll always try to fill a spot, because I think all that in itself is purpose as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow. And you know what? There's a tune that I particularly like as well. It's called Lick Down, and I wanted to know about that tune. How did it come about?
And it's so funny that the place that tune come about that's where I'm passing right now. It's a place called Movie Town.
Okay.
Having one of my cousins, he was murdered at night. And that's where I penned that song in my mind. He was murdered for his friend wearing a chain. He didn't have one chain. His friend was wearing a chain, and the gunman passed by and shot him in his head.
Wow.
Because he asked the gunman, he said, like, what's that one, boy? And the gunman shot him in his head. And right then I started to pen the song in my head, and I had a friend called Ratty.
Okay.
Who I started singing music with. He himself added to that writing that night, and he sang part of the song as well. But it was because of a cousin that lost his life to gun violence.
Wow. You know what? Somebody's just put a message in and said they're sorry for your loss. That's deep. That's what the listeners are saying right now.
Yeah. Thanks for the sympathy.
Yeah, for real. And you know what? There's another tune that kind of exploded, but I particularly like as well. It's a tune called Tell Somebody. How did that come about?
Well, because my name is Jaron Nurse, I said I play on the nurse and the medical side of things. Okay. And that's when I started to pen the song, while listening to a Jamaican rhythm. Yeah. Right, it was actually a Jamaican song, in that of She's Still Loving Me, from Morgan Heritage. Yeah. And I penned the song, listening to that, talking about, like my first aid kit, give me the plaster when my fall, bandage when my trip. A lot of medical terms, because, again, as I say, my name is Jaron Nurse. Yeah. So I wanted to tell people about I found the best medication, the best medicine, which is Jesus. And that's why I just want to tell everybody about it.
Yeah, for real. And there's lots of people as well saying that they love that tune as well. And they also love the tune from you called Justice. Tell us something about that one.
Justice came about when a lot of crime, including a young woman, that had to do it with Sean at that time. One guy murdered a young lady, and the people wanted to murder him. Okay. But when I looked into the story, I said if sometimes we ask for justice, but sometimes we could be at background check. They realized that the guy that gave the murderer the vehicle didn't do a background check, and would have put him to work put a vehicle on the road in his hands without even knowing the character. Yeah. So sometimes we want to protest and we want to we just might be at fault as well.
For real. I hear that, definitely. And with yourself now, you're doing lots of great tracks, lots of positive music. What would you like to see in this music industry more of?
I would just like to see more positive songs getting forward,
Yeah.
because they are being produced, but they're not being aired, especially in Trinidad,
Okay.
Is what we'll call licks, because it's so easy for them, and we know that that's how the enemy, that's how the devil set it.
Yeah.
That the evil will always seem to be louder.
Yeah.
But that's how it is. That's my wish, that a lot of positive songs would be heard, would be aired, and would spread.
Yeah, 100%. And there's somebody asking, as a young person that wants to get into the music business, what advice can you give them?
What advice I'll give them is, I'll give them advice on behalf of what I do. I do gospel music.
Yeah.
So because of that, I stay close to Jesus, because I tell people, you can't want to be an ambassador, but you're not visiting the embassy.
Yeah.
So I stay close to Christ. I stay close to the church as well. And I learn. I also tell them that invest in themselves, even if it's to buy a mic, learn an instrument. I invested in myself a few years ago, and I have no regrets.
Yeah.
I have my own studio and stuff like that. So that would be my encouragement. And know why you're doing what you're doing.
Okay.
No is not is don't put power, don't put your gift in people's hands. God bless you with his gift.
Yeah.
And do everything to enhance his gift to be a blessing to people, but don't let people control your gift.
Yeah, 100%. And also as well, I know you've been doing lots of different touring and things like that. What is touring life like for yourself?
Well, it's a blessing always.
Okay.
Able to meet new people, new cultures. It's humbling as well. I love meeting new people, because what I do will forever be about people.
Yeah.
So when on tour and stuff, I consider that to be a blessing, seeing the different cultures and seeing how people accept quick, to accept you,
Yeah.
even if it's just because of what you do. Yeah, I consider that to be a blessing.
For real, 100%. And as well, somebody else has just sent a message in asking what are your thoughts on Lady Saw, because obviously Lady Saw was in dancehall, and she's kind of moved out to gospel and following Christ, and they're asking what are your thoughts about it.
I would say that is indeed a big blessing.
Yeah.
I love to see how God work with people. Someone like Lady Saw, who sang all those songs, and who people know her for doing those sorts of songs.
Yeah.
But I love to see how God can transform somebody like Lady Saw,
Yeah.
and have it to be a blessing to others.
Yeah.
And I consider that loud, and that's a big blessing. As much as many men may not forget those songs she sang,
Yeah.
but I can clearly see that it's evident that God did a work in her,
Yeah.
and that is a blessing.
For real, 100%. And you know what, as well, when it comes to writing songs now, are you more of a freestyler, or do you write tunes down? How does it work for you?
More of a freestyle. I write
Okay.
to music. I sing to the music.
Yeah.
Like record, sing.
Okay.
I wouldn't put pen to paper literally, but I thank God. So that's why I tell people I can take no credits. All credits to Jesus for the songs that I write.
Yeah, 100%. And I know you're busy there with your little son, and I just wanted to ask you, would you be up for singing a little something for the people out there who are listening right now? Would you be up for that?
Yeah.
Okay, when you're ready.
Yeah. And that, I guess, would be tell somebody. Jesus Christ, like my first aid kit. Give me the plaster when me fall, and the bandage when me trip. All when me backslide and slip. And Jesus and the spiritual rope make me take the tight grip. Cause I know that this world could be toxic, but Jesus Christ like my daily antibiotic. And when things looking tough and I'm losing hope, Jesus Christ I'm a spiritual antidote. Him are the best medicine cabinet. I'm serving Jesus, him never fail me yet. Him like my smelling salt when sin getting me upset. I'm serving Jesus and I got no regret. So this message of Jesus I can keep to myself. He's not the medicine I can keep on a shelf. I think I need to share him with the world, share him with someone else. Say, Kat-a-lyst, I'm gonna tell somebody about Jesus. Cause that's how this we need to know why you tell somebody about much blessings, man.
Hey.
Continue to tell people about Jesus.
Anytime. You know what? Lots of people are sending fire. They're saying that is a vibe and energy. But before you go, tell the people out there if there's any up and coming music you've got, any album, any tour, so they can check you out.
Well, actually, I'll be releasing the Tell Somebody officially on the Love Bomb program.
Okay.
You know, those guys reached out to me, and it's completed. I'm about to shoot a video for that soon. Yeah. Also, there's a song that I'm working on that will touch on all the crime and gun violence.
Okay.
You know,
yeah.
And I'm putting in some work in that because I love to show the youth that, hey, this would be your outcome if you go that direction.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's one color, one gunman.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah.
Nice, I like that. And somebody's just asked, how can they get in touch with you if they wanted to book you or have an interview with you?
You can try Jaron Nurse at hotmail.com.
Yeah.
It's my normal name, Jaron Nurse at hotmail. That's the easiest, one of the easiest way to access me. Jaron Uncommon on that's on
Instagram.
Yeah.
I know it, don't worry.
Yeah.
You know what, it's been a blessing to speak with you, and I'm so happy that your journey has increased, and you're doing some positive movements and just keeping it out there, and I just want to wish you all the best. And if you have any new tunes, anything you want me to push out on the radio, please let me know. You've always got my blessing. Yeah.
Well, I want you to know that I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. It was a comfortable interview. I felt like I've known you before.
Okay,
you know,
I like
and
that.
because of that, I pray many blessings upon you, your family, your program, and everything you put your hands to do. I pray that it would be blessed.
Thank you.
You know, thanks for having me and making a way for a young man as well who would be on the positive track or the positive side, and that speaks volumes, because as I say in Trinidad, it's a bit tough.
Yeah.
You know. But I'll not let the tide control what the fish do.
Yeah, man.
You know,
definitely.
so whether the tide change, I'll continue doing positive and doing Jesus. So thank you so much for having me.
Anytime, you're always welcome. Have a blessed rest of the day, and we'll speak again soon, I'm sure.
Yes, and thanks for the opportunity.
Anytime, you're always welcome. Have a blessed rest of the day.
Blessings, and everyone listening, much blessings.
Give thanks, yeah? We'll speak soon. Bless up.
Alright, bye.
Bye-bye. Bless.